Today, I'm going to be doing a video on budgeting when you're a DoorDasher. So since gas prices are really high right now, and most of us are lucky if we make more than like $15 to $20 an hour, I decided to make a video telling you how I budget.
Bruh.
I'm like the last person you should take budgeting advice from. But in all seriousness, I want to help my fellow delivery drivers and give you some tips that help me and hopefully will help you save money as well. So let's get right into it. In case you didn't know, tax season is here.
No!
I hope you put aside some money for those taxes, y'all.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
It's good to put about 20 to 30% of your income aside, so when tax time comes, you won't kill yourself dashing to try to make all that money up.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Don't worry though, you don't have to pay taxes on all the money that you make. So the math basically is if you make $1,000 a week and you drive about 750 miles to make that $1,000, you can write off 56 cents a mile, making that about $420 you can write off on your taxes. So instead of your taxable income being $1,000, it's now $580. You take that $580 and you multiply it by 30%, which is basically your federal, state, and self-employment tax combined. So it could be a little bit higher or a little bit lower depending on what state you live in. Multiply the $580 by the 30%, then your tax bill will be $185.60.
Wow.
So the next tip I have is to get the DashDirect card. I've talked about the DashDirect card before in my tips and tricks video. The link is in the description box below, so check that out if you're new to dashing. So not only oh my god, I cannot talk. So not only does the DashDirect card give you 2% back when you get gas, but I actually like having my money for not only gas, but like my food and essentials on my DashDirect card. So I don't just throw all my purchases on my credit card and then forget about them. And then when I look at my credit card bill, it's like hundreds of dollars. Whereas having the DashDirect card and only being able to use that card keeps me accountable. I do have a debit card, but I feel like just having all my money for gas and food and everything on my DashDirect card just makes it a lot more simple. And then I just use my debit card usually for bills, and then my credit card for just big purchases or like vacations, and then like have a plan to like pay the credit card off. But usually if I just like buy random things and throw it on my credit card, I forget about it, and by the time the credit card bill is due, I'm like, where did all this money come from? Also, there's an app called Upside that helps you save money as well. So basically with that app, you put your card information in, and then when you get to a gas station, you open the app, you check into the gas station, and then it's supposed to automatically give you cash back. And so that would get added back onto your DashDirect card. I think you can only take it out of Get Upside after you make like $10 or something. I really don't use this app anymore though, because sometimes they'll tell me to upload a receipt, and then I'll go to get a receipt from the gas pump and they'll be out of paper or something, or for some reason I just don't get the money. It might work a lot better for you. I did make like $10, so that was nice. You can save about 5 to 15 cents a gallon. Then when you put it on your DashDirect card, plus the rewards you get from DoorDash, then you can save quite a bit of money.
I am the one, the way.
Track miles and keep receipts. Receipts for items such as hot bags, phone mount, phone charger, masks, hand sanitizer, at least for right now during the pandemic, oil changes, because if you keep those receipts, when it's tax time, then you can deduct those from your taxes. I also like to track my miles with the Stride app. It's simple, just open up the app, tap track miles once you start driving, and then once you're done, tap done driving. When tax time comes, you're able to go into Stride and just see how many miles you drove. That's how you deduct those from your taxes.
Okay, so don't eat out too much.
I know it can be tempting because you're driving, you're picking up everybody's food and you're dropping it off. You get hungry, but you could save so much more money if you just buy your food at the grocery store and then eat it at home. So basically every morning I usually make oatmeal or eggs, and then I'll have it with like some fruit. That's basically my go-to breakfast. It's filling, it's nutritious, it's yummy. I'll take an hour break for lunch and then make a smoothie or a salad or something. And then when I get home at the end of my shift, I'll have some meals that I meal prepped a few days ago or whatever, and then I'll just eat one of those. And it'll be nice because I don't have to worry about going home after my shift and cooking my food. I don't know about you guys, but usually when I get home, I'm tired and hungry, and all I want to do is just eat my food and chill And usually when I have to do that, if I have no food in my house, then that's when I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go get a burger. If you constantly eat out, it adds up. I mean, usually a meal is like what, maybe like $6-ish, $8 at the drive-through. So that's like what, $18 a day, versus if you go grocery shopping, you're probably spending at the most like $5 a day, probably like more like $2 or $3 a day. The cheaper your food, the less dashing you have to do. So I like to invest some of my income. And I know you're thinking, invest? Oh gosh, that's too complicated. But honestly, it doesn't have to be. You can get the Robinhood app, which is the first app I've ever used to invest. I'd never invested before I used Robinhood, and it's pretty simple. Sign up for it, add your bank account, put in some money, let it sit there, and then you make money. I would recommend, as a first timer, if you've never invested before, to invest in ETFs, which is basically like a whole bunch of the top stocks and then maybe some like newer stocks or smaller stocks mixed in. That's the safest option because it's not too volatile. You're guaranteed to make money unless like something like World War III happens, which it might. But I digress. Now, don't go investing in like Ethereum or Bitcoin or that Dogecoin. Maybe Ethereum and Bitcoin, but just like put like, you're supposed to put only 10% of your savings in that. So don't go YOLO. So the ETFs I invest in are the S&P 500, and then there's a Vanguard ETF. Those I would say are two good ETFs. But I would still do my research because I don't want to sit here and tell you what to invest in and then something happens and you go, oh, that DoorDash girl on YouTube told me to invest in this. Yeah, I'd still do your research. Don't just invest and not know what you're doing. It's always good to know the companies you're investing in. Try to drive a car that's not too pricey, that you can beat up a bit. When I first started doing DoorDash, I had a 2020 Mercedes A220. That didn't last very long. I mean, like, it was fine. I sold it, but I didn't last very long dashing in it because I knew that I wasn't going to make a lot of money with that car. I was going to be diminishing the value of the car a lot faster than I would like. So I got a 2015 Honda Civic. And with the gas prices the way they are, I am so glad I sold that car like October of 2021. And I'm so glad I sold that car because I would be paying $50 to $60 in gas. Like, I think I'm paying like $40 in gas with this car. And when you're driving, and I'm sure you know, you hit a lot of speed bumps, especially when you're looking at that DoorDash app, trying to decide if you're going to accept or decline an order, and then that speed bump just comes out of nowhere and you just go flying over it. Sometimes I don't even see them. They come out of, I don't even know where they come from. Like, oh shit, there goes my undercarriage. Also in this car, a lady backed up into my car. Like, honestly, this is what happened. I wasn't even dashing. I was at the grocery store and I back out of my parking space. I look, I don't see anybody else in my way. Cool, all clear, right? So I back out, and right before I get ready to put my car in drive, I look over to my left and there's an SUV backing out. She was so close that I felt like if I put my car to drive without honking, then she would have still hit me. So I honked once. She's still backing out. Honk twice, still backing out. Honk a third time. After the second honk, I just knew she was gonna hit me. So I honk a third time, desperately hoping that she'll finally hear it and stop. She doesn't. She backs into me. And then she gets out and she's like, what happened? And I look at her, I'm like, you hit me. I honked like 3 times. And she's just like, oh, I didn't hear anything.
What the f?
I don't think she should be driving. Like 99.9% of the cases, the person would hear you honk and they would stop. So also, depending on how much you dash, you're gonna need a lot of oil changes. You're constantly braking because of stoplights, traffics, etc. Your brakes will go out sooner than if you weren't a delivery driver. And if you're like me, I like to turn off my ignition and lock my car when I do deliveries because I'm just a really paranoid person. So I hope you got something out of this video. Make sure to like if you enjoyed this video. The algorithm and I would greatly appreciate it. And comment if you have any other tips that I forgot to mention to help out our fellow dashers. I'll see you guys in my next video.